It's another lovely day, and whether or not you feel very positive, I need you to repeat your mind and feel positive, think positive, because the fact that you're alive and well gives it all out for all of us. Because it's only when you're alive that you can begin to think about other things to add on to it. Now, last week when we had our conversations here, we all discussed and munched on the topic female mental health. One thing that we took away from there is the fear of aging. A lot of us have that fear because about the time we're aging, either you're getting dementia or you're getting Alzheimer and you're getting all manner of things. But then the fear, is it genuine? Do we all have it? What are we going to do to ensure that we remove such fear from our system? That's our focus for today. And very importantly, what is your plan not to have that fear when it comes? And in the house, we have almost everyone who was with us last week. We have another addition added to us. And let's start introducing ourselves quickly. My name is Elizabeth Abba, by the way.
My name is Deva Hamati, your mom, and it's good to be here.
The way you say this, mom.
It used to be Hamation, then now it's mom, and I have a unique name. There's nothing I can do about it. I'm a posh kid. Things happen to me. It's just one of those things. I'm feeling myself. So my name is Deva Hamation, mom, one of her kind.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So
My name
don't
is
tell me your own is Maimuna
Abdullah,
Dad.
aka Coach Dindi. That's just me.
All right. So now you go to.
My name is Joy Panachi, the black and beautiful woman.
Yes.
Oh my
tell
God.
them about
Oh
it.
my God. I told you let's not go there. And you still went there.
Oh, yes, I did.
So, okay, so my name is Elizabeth, the white and beautiful.
Well, my name is Julie Unoviona, the phenomenal woman.
Oh my God. All right, so everybody has something to their names, except you and I, perhaps.
Coach
But it
Didi.
doesn't-
Yes, that's her own.
No, maybe something, an adjective or something.
Don't worry, we'll take care of it. So, last week when we had this conversation, a lot of people, wrote in and we were able to see one connecting pipe was that fear of aging. And before we begin to talk about this today, we actually went out to the streets and asked a few persons, Nigerians, what their fear for aging is. And we brought back quite a lot. Let's see if they're ready. Can we have that now, Director?
Aging comes with different types of illnesses. Like now, let's say around that 60, 70, you can have like dementia, you can have like different illnesses. So yeah, that's my fear. I'll change my mindset. I'll keep saying positive affirmations to myself. Oh, you're young, you're beautiful, this, that. And also maybe go for regular checkups in the hospital, eat healthy, change my diet, exercise more, be active.
Not being a liability for people around you, your loved ones. I wouldn't want to be a burden on, people who I come to love and my family. I happened to provide care to my grandmom before she died. And I saw at some point in time she eventually was, that fear of leaving people with something that probably might be beyond them, most especially from this kind of economy we live in, the health system and all. It's quite a mess. Unlike in other climes where there are homes you could take aged people to and all. I thank God a lot of young people these days are quite conscious. A lot of people are taking to an active lifestyle in terms of being fit, and also diet, to watch what we eat, what we drink. More importantly for young people, there seems to be this trend about abuse. A lot of people are into narcotics. And I think that's something that is making a lot of young people also age faster than they should.
Responsibilities that come with it and declining health. I'm planning my life accordingly, taking school serious, making the right connections where I need to make the right connections, keeping my ears down for anything that's going to help me when I get there. Doing a lot of exercises, taking morning walks, trying to eat healthy, drinking a lot of water. I recently cut down on soft drinks.
Things like the responsibilities that comes with getting old. I'm trying to plan my life at this stage, especially financially. Because when you get old, you have lots of responsibilities on your shoulders. You don't need to go to your end. You don't have people anymore to go to them to help them sort your responsibilities. You have to sort them yourself as a man.
I am scared of being a liability to my family. When I remember when my grandma was alive, how they used to carry her. She used to be very sick, like all the time, spending money, taking her to the hospital, doing this. She depend on people.
Aging has this way of making you have this fear. Hope I won't have this. Like you won't be depending on people for movement. At that point, you might not be able to walk well, carry your body the way you used to when you were younger.
All right, conversation is back right in the studio, and from what we saw, we actually were discussing it while it was going on. All the kind of fear, different kinds of fear, and I'm sure a lot of people will be wondering, what is my fear? I used to think I didn't have any fear, but before I even go to my Devon, what's your fear?
Well, for me, health. Because the older you get, your body begins to kind of betray you. It starts with small things, negligible things, things that you could eat, you know. All of a sudden you eat them and you develop an adverse reaction. Times you could eat, you can no longer eat at those times. I mean, like some 20 years back, I could wake up in the middle of the night and eat eba. In 20 years, it's past. I remember making Facebook posts about things like this about 3, 4 years back. I'm hungry, I'm going to make eba and eat. And people were like, what your weight? It wasn't, ultimately, it wasn't about my weight. After a while, I discovered that I was having acid reflux. If I ate anything after 5 p.m., by the time I'm going to bed by 9, 10 p.m. at night, all of a sudden I get this awful rush as if the food is coming back. And it's not quite the same as nausea or wanting to throw up. It's like a pipe. The food just tilted and came back, So there's that. Your bones begin to give you issues. I mean, some of my favorite things to eat used to be anything with a lot of sugar and stuff in it. Now I find that if I eat cake, especially the one with icing, I'm going to have serious stomach pains.
Yeah, I remember you used to ask him for marshmallows.
No, I still don't have. Yeah, I don't have issues with marshmallows till
Okay.
date, but I realize they're not good for me, so I've stopped eating them. I can't take ice cream. I take ice cream and I'm going to have extreme stomach aches and things like this. So it just starts creeping in on you, small things. So for me, it's health.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, Emina?
For me, I think I had a discussion, like I told you last year, on aging and women mental health. So I will come from the aspect of mental health. I remember as a child, there were women in my locality that were abandoned by their husbands. So I grew up with the fear that as I grew older, I'll be abandoned. Because these are women that were told that for 10, 15 years, they are still married, but had not had anything to do with their husbands. And it was quite common.
Anything you mean sex?
Sex, yes, no sex. You can imagine not having sex. You're married, but you've not had sex for 10, 15 years, and you are there. And funny enough, I met this woman, and I remember them. They didn't seem miserable for some reason. Anyway, at that time, older women, they were more like, they found it easier to hide how they really felt. So as I grew older, I was afraid that someday, when I grow older, I would also be abandoned. I never really took notice of that fear until I started working with women on mental health. And I remember on my 40th birthday, my family, my husband, all came around and were wishing me a happy birthday. They got me a cake and had a small party. But me, it was like a funeral. I was miserable. I was miserable, but I had to pretend I was fine and excited. But I kept thinking, I'm 40, oh my God, I'm 40.
They had to write it on the cake, right?
My sister.
Bad reminder.
But it was something that I kept playing in my head, and it made me so afraid. And for a long time, honestly, each each birthday came, and it was like doomsday. Unlike when I was younger, I remember when I was 14, 15, I was claiming to be 16, 17 because I wanted to be toasted around. Then one day, I'm 40 and I'm wishing I'm not. And I was actually miserable. I had to do a lot of mind work, cognitive restructuring to change the meaning I gave to aging. And I began to see aging as something that was beautiful.
I'm going to still take you up on that, especially how you worked it out. But let's see if Joy has a fear.
I had fear even growing up. That's just the
Oh.
honest truth. Yeah.
Oh,
It was with age and my mom helping me to realize that if you're getting older, there's nothing wrong with it. But the only thing is that you have to prepare yourself for getting older. Because when I was much younger, I used to say, oh my God, I love to do things myself. I love to do things myself. Then I started getting older, and I realized that I had to step back. I used to love to wear 6 inches, the shoes, and really, really, I loved it. I love people seeing the 6 inches. But as I got older, I realized that the knees were shaking, my bones were breaking, my back was hurting. And I now gave myself a double check. And I said, Joy, aging, and most of the time when you age, I was quite slim. So now I was bigger because I used to eat things I was not supposed to eat. And I used to eat at times when I'm not supposed to eat. So when I started getting older, medically,
payback.
It was payback. So whether you like it or not, what you have done growing up will catch up with you when you get older.
Definitely. So you don't prepare for old age when you're already old. In other words,
No, you
do
have
it
to do
when
that
you're young.
when you're young.
Okay.
Yes.
So, Julie?
Yes.
But Julie, by the way, is turning 60.
Wow.
When is the 60?
I'm going to be 60 on the 17th, which is Friday.
Oh, wow.
Wow. Good.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you
So,
very
how
much.
does it feel being 60? I mean, is your bone telling stories?
Well, I don't even believe I'm 60.
That's a good one.
I still think I am 40. That's the way I behave.
Someone once told me 60 is the new 40.
That is it. And that's for me. Yes. So, aging is all about your mind. For me, while I was growing up, I grew up in a very terrible environment because my father had 4 wives and every wife to her tent. So because my mother couldn't take care of all of us, I had to stay with my sister, and from there it was very, very tough. The husband didn't have money. I had to work in the morning before going to school. When I come back, I'll go to the market, work again, take care of our kids.
Aging early.
Yeah. So that poverty that surrounded me made me to make up my mind to work on myself, to become rich, so that when I am rich, I will be able to take care of my aging. Because I discovered that a lot of people who are poor age easily because of lack of funds. But when you have your cash, the Bible says money answereth all things. And it's so unfortunate that most parents these days depend on their kids. They don't plan for their retirement and their aging. And so when aging comes in and the children are not there, you just hear that that woman collapsed and died, she has stroke, this or that. So it's all about the mind and making up your own mind to age peacefully. So I'm not afraid of aging. I'm 40 years, even though
your birth certificate reached 60.
Add something.
Okay,
You
good.
see, I agree with you to an extent. Age partly has to do with the mind, but then there's also radical acceptance. I'm 46 years old. I turned 46 just a few weeks ago. I cannot change the fact that I'm 46. I am 46. But the meaning I give to being 46, now that's up to me.
That's it.
Our age is part of life. We are born, we'll live, and then we'll die. Everything else is in between. Now, I either choose to age miserably, like I used to, or I age joyfully, which is now what I have decided to do. Age is part of life. I must age because I'd rather age than die. So let me age gracefully.
Gracefully.
So it's just mind work.
Okay, so we're going to go into how each of us are handling it, and of course, a profile, especially from Coach Didi, who has plan on ensuring that women think the right way. But then I'm sure everybody will wonder how is she coping with her own. Well, my fear of aging is very simple. I don't want to be alone. Yes, I like noise and I like human beings. I don't ever want to find myself alone. In fact, whenever I find myself alone in the house, even if it's for 30 minutes, I make sure I go round the house, put on all the television sets, put radio, and make sure there's enough noise. Mentally, I feel I have human beings around. So I don't want to be alone. Perhaps when I turn 60, I'll have another child. Just to ensure that.
Don't try it.
But if it makes you happy,
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Anyway, so you mentioned something when you were talking. You also made reference to it. When you were younger, you did this and you can't do that. I'm going to shock you guys a little bit. I went out of my way to do a research on some people sitting down here. Please, director, can you play me something on Devon? Okay, yes, there is.
Whoa. Whoa.
That's Devon. Can you see yourself?
I used to be so thin. I used to be so thin.
Wow. Skinny.
Wow.
Skinny, yeah.
You got fleshed out.
I was weighing 45 kg back then. Okay, I started looking
Okay,
nicer,
so
yeah.
that's Devon. That's Devon. So Devon, you have seen yourself like 20 years or more back,
Oh yeah.
and you're seeing yourself today. Are you still scared of aging?
Well, generally with women, there's also the thing about your looks. You're losing your looks. You will lose your looks, no matter how beautiful you are.
But
As
your
age
looks are
comes-
better now. I mean, you put on a bit of flesh.
Does she
I,
like
I,
it?
I like the fact that I've gained weight.
Uh-huh.
True, I do. Absolutely. Yeah, I wish I could lose it in my cheeks. But that's not going to happen. So, well, you roll with the punches and everything. I prefer the face I had back then with the body I have now. But you can't pick and choose. These things happen. So, but the thing is, for the longest time, I weighed 45 kg. I weighed 45 kg right up until the age of 40.
Ah,
Yes, I literally did. The weight gain I have now started in 2018 when I had my political stunt and I was constantly in the village. So I'd wake up in the morning. I love yam. I love yam. But it's in the morning. You can't pounded yam. It's like putting people through too much stress. But I'd have roast yam with palm oil and salt.
Wow.
One of my favorite things to eat. We go out on the campaign trail, come back, and then there's this hefty pounded yam sitting there for me. And I take like half, and then guess where I'm heading to? Bed. Pounded yam, bed. Pounded yam, bed. But I gained weight. This weight gain came from 2018 and stuck around. Yes, I did gain some weight shortly after marriage. I gained like another 5 kilos, yeah. But I currently weigh about 65, 66.
Wow.
Yeah, I've gained. Yeah. So I've gained quite a bit of weight in the last like
3 years.
yeah, quite a bit.
you were up to that?
No, 60 kg.
But you know what? My husband was getting
These are
bizarre
the
about
most
it.
Yeah.
My husband was getting bizarre about it when it first started. He'd be like, "You're gaining weight. You're here." I said, "Guy, I've always been skinny. It's a testament to your husbanding skills that you married me and I gained weight in your house. Nobody thought it was going to ever happen. So relax and then enjoy yourself. Your in-laws are praising you.
Thank you.
So relax and enjoy
Thank
it."
you. Okay, so I'm going to. You saw a bit of joy earlier. Let's hit it. You will see baby joy.
I can't wait.
Okay.
That doesn't look like you.
eyes are still there.
Yes.
You've always liked fashion.
Oh yes.
Yeah, she has
been a
always been.
fashion
Yes.
girl.
Oh,
Where is that
So
open
this is why
to?
your current face started coming out.
No,
Yeah.
no, but you can see I was still
yeah.
quite, you know.
Uh-uh.
Oh, with the glasses,
Yes.
the
This is
funky.
this is the Jackson 5.
Oh yes,
Jackson
the
5.
rocking joy. The
Okay,
rocking
so
joy.
I got you right there.
Oh yes, you did. I've always loved fashion,
Mhm.
even growing up, and that was why when I went to school, I did fashion as well. Um, what am I scared of? I see some of my friends put their parents in homes, and, and you know that thing gives you a double check.
Mhm.
And for me, maybe I'm different from everybody here. Growing up now, I look at myself, not married, I don't have kids, and I'm like, gosh, when I grow older, what am I going to do? Who is going to take care of me? Like she said, you have to make sure you put plans. And somebody just told me that you don't have to have your kids.
True.
You can train other people.
Exactly.
Because there's an example of people having their own kids and the kids not really doing anything
Yeah,
for them.
Exactly.
so many.
So yeah, so it's the ones that have adopted that are taking care, because growing up was scary. Because I see what I do for my parents. So and I'm sitting there and I'm like, gosh, not married, in this society quite difficult. But now I am relaxed and calm because I know that I'm making preparations for my old age. Because at 55, and I looking like this, I think I'm fantastic.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You see, the thing now is that you have to talk to yourself. You have to appreciate
Believe in
yourself.
yes.
You have to love. You see, what I always tell people, don't wait for people to love you.
Absolutely.
Don't wait for people, and guess what? Don't keep yourself with negative people.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because there are some people who say, don't you think you're too fat? Don't you think you're this? Don't you think you're that? And I told somebody one day that you're slim doesn't mean that you're healthy. We work out together. And I know that you're very lazy. So the thing here is that you have to talk to yourself. It's a scary thing. Let's not pretend, because in my quiet times when I lie down in bed, I used to say, oh my God, when you have to beg people, you can't walk. That's why the good thing about me during my, like I think 8 years ago, I had an accident and I was told they were going to amputate one of my legs.
This like
Yes, these legs. That was the worst thing that happened to me because I realized that I couldn't wear heels and do all the catwalks that I
That was
wanted
what
to.
you realized.
I'm telling you, that's just to tell you, you see, everybody's different. I love to look good. So, and I was like, God, how do I survive with one leg? And the surgeon said, you know what? I will save, I will save your leg. I said, well, that's your story that I have, my legs are going to be cut, but I know it won't be. And he checked it and he said, okay, I'm going to save your legs. You're my friend. I know you love to wear shorts. So you know what I'm going to do? When I do the surgery, you will still wear your shorts, but I'll do the surgery from the inner leg. So most of the time, I still wear my shorts with my size, and guess what? Nobody knows I have a scar. Unless when you're sitting, like if you're sitting there and I wear the shorts, then you see the scar and everybody says, what happened? And I tell them the story.
I'm going to start looking out for it. I have to hunt for this car. Anyway, so let's see if Memuna actually did a check too. So don't think you're going scot free. Everybody, let's see, baby Memuna. You're sure you're ready.
Wow, adorable. Oh, wow. Oh,
This is
Babe,
where your real face started.
when it started coming out.
babe.
Oh,
This was in your
school.
school.
Yeah.
After school.
You're laughing. Did I take you back knowingly?
Yeah, you did.
So what did you remember as you were watching it?
Honestly, I just saw me, and I saw over the years how, because when I'm just looking at the fact that, life, just like I said, is a transition. And I can change the fact that I'm 46 years old now, and I have learned to love where I am in my life. And just like you said about self-esteem, I am big on self-esteem. I am unapologetically confident in who I am and in my skin. I love who I am. I love what I stand for. A few years ago, around 4 years ago, I woke up one morning and I had this, when you say an aha moment. I just said, what the hell are you doing with your life? Because I felt I was alive, but I was not living. I felt a void in my life. I had never been ambitious. All I ever wanted to be was a good mother and a good wife. Nothing more. I never wanted to be successful. I never wanted to make money. Nothing at all. Just good wife, good mother. But I realized at that point I needed more. And for a minute I thought it was selfish. And I thought I was ungrateful to God. Because there are people out there who are unhealthy, who are trying to even have children. They can't have children, Then why am I feeling unfulfilled? So I was feeling guilty. But then I told myself, if there's a void in there, then it means something.
Something needs to be done.
And that was
It could
the
just be
minute
given
I
back.
decided to go on a self-improvement journey. And that changed my life. Because that day I said I needed to find Ummi.
Okay, so
And that was it.
all right, the next one I'm going to play. Director, just tell me that the camera will not work or the VCR is hanging because it's about me, but I'm shy.
Ooh, young please. Ah, guy.
Wow.
Guy.
You look just like you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you look the same.
Guy.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Just a bit of weight.
Ooh. Is that you?
Honestly, I didn't
I was pregnant, yeah, with my last child.
In this picture.
This was when we did AM Express some time ago.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's where I knew.
I'm actually covering my face because I was shy. Anyway, I'm not going to say anything. I just know that whatever you saw there, if there's a physical change, it's because God has upgraded me physically, but in spirit, I'm still the same old person. So I'm still the same sweet 16 that I just saw. I'm going to play a game with you people. Director, are you ready? The next person, I just need you to give me 2 of the pictures and let the people here guess who it is.
Ah, okay. That's
Mr.
Wale
Wale.
Coker.
I spotted
Mr. Wale
That
Coker.
is Mr. Coker.
Mr. Coker. See the glasses. Look at
Somebody
the open
that was
shirt.
my boss for how many years? Come on, Haba.
Okay. I thought, but did you know that he was he could walk like
No,
this?
I didn't.
I didn't. I've never seen
know.
any pictures of
No.
the slimmer,
Yeah.
younger version of him, but I just knew it was him.
No, but look at him with the shirt opened,
Okay.
with the glasses. Mr. Coker.
All right, let's see the cowboy. Let's continue.
Oh, Mr. Coker. The singer.
Everybody knows.
Oh, now.
Engine has set it.
Oh.
Okay, and this is him presently.
Yeah.
All right, so I had to do this because he is my supervising producer, and I said I can't carry on without exposing him. Okay, if you're ready to give me query, I'm announcing this in national TV. I'll collect the query, and everybody will answer it because
Yes.
there was a plot.
Fantastic.
Unfortunately, I couldn't dig deep enough to get out your own picture, but it's something I'll still have to do sometime to come. But
Meanwhile,
seriously,
if I may come in, I noticed some people came with their baby pictures. See, there's no amount of money you would have paid me for me to do
Were you not skinny?
No, it's not about being skinny. I was actually chubby as a child.
Okay.
Bizarrely enough, I was chubby as a but I looked like a boy.
oh wow.
I looked like a boy. I don't know at what point the feminine genes now kicked in and I started looking like a girl. I looked like a boy. I was a tomboy. And back then, you had to cut your hair and everything in primary school. So I was essentially a boy. And when I was at home, I was forever in trousers and stuff, jumping out of trees and everything. And then I had the toughest hair on earth. Back when we were kids, that time you had these wooden combs.
Yeah.
My combs didn't used to last 3 days. Until my mother went and got this comb that had steel tines. That one lasted quite a while. And all my pictures back then, they had just finished combing my hair with all the pain and everything. I'd be like,
Okay, so that's why we need to
It's
see that.
miserable enough
Oh,
without
I
picture.
wish I don't
I
for
look
them.
like
So
a
it would have
miserable
been fun
little
to have
boy.
it. Now, let's get to answering the questions we've been able to raise. We all have fears, and let me start with Coach Didi. The reason is because you are a coach, and I'm wondering how best should we, manage our fears. The fear is genuine because the aging process is a reality.
Yeah.
But what are we supposed to do when it's beginning to bug us? You mentioned that you have to do a lot of rejigging, cognitive wise, to be able to face your today. So what should we do? How do we go about it?
We're all different first. So how I may go about it is different from how you would go about it. And then the fact that as human beings, our mindsets are based from our experiences, upbringing and environment, so it will all be different from different people. But I would say the first step is acceptance. You see, we have this thing about denial. Is the coping mechanism is unhealthy. Because when you refuse to accept your reality, it doesn't change the reality. So accepting that you're aging first, like I told you, I use myself as an example. The day I had this session on my Instagram handle, I said it was more or less a self-therapy for me than actually what for other people. Because accepting where you are in your life is the first step towards doing something about it. Because ignoring something and believing that it's not there, there's this popular saying, if I just forget it, that is not bury it, time heals when and I lie. You only find somewhere to put it, and then there's something that will trigger you. So what you need to do first is to accept it. Then you process it. What does it mean to age? And then most importantly, give it a new meaning. Like for example, I had this belief that if I age, I will be abandoned. And then I asked myself, and what's the worst thing that can happen if I'm abandoned? The most important person in my life, excuse me, is me. I will never abandon me. So believing that and working on your self-esteem. Because most of the time, for many women I have worked with, because when I did that session, so many women came in and wrote in, the fear of abandonment is key. In fact, this is the first time I'm hearing other people talk about even health-wise. Most women, or perhaps because I'm talking from women in northern Nigeria, the fear of being abandoned because it's common knowledge. As you
have
age,
this
you become
workshop for
invincible.
women.
Yeah.
Okay, is it on a regular basis?
No, it's every 2 months.
Every 2 months?
Yeah, it's called the WAP workshop, Women with a Plan.
When is the next one?
It's on Sunday, 19th.
Oh, okay.
It's on Sunday, 19th. Okay. It's basically a mindset shift class. Because most people who are miserable, unhappy, or wherever they are in their life that is disempowering, is from your mind. Because it cannot change what has already happened to you.
Yeah.
It cannot change what is going to happen to you to an extent. But the meaning you give to it is up to you. People keep saying, I'm not happy, I'm not happy. Either I'm not happy because of marriage, I'm not happy because of my age, I'm not happy because of my health. Life is challenges are part of life. But whatever you decide to do, when you decide to give meaning, happiness is an inside job. You cannot find happiness. There's this popular saying, how to find happiness. You can't find it because it's not lost. Happiness is created from within.
Yeah, within the week, I think a couple of days ago, I posted, I said, stop looking for validation from people outside. Find yourself, find joy, and then appreciate people around you. There could be just that security man who has this habit of greeting you properly. Have a conversation with him. You can lighten your mood. Everybody is important, and if you find it from inside, it actually stays. But I was also thinking. I said a lot of times we both of you actually made a mention of that. People start late to prep up for old age. When should we exactly start, and what are the things we should be doing? It's a general question.
Like she said, she made up her mind to believe that aging must come, and she took a step. So for me, I started thinking of aging when I was about to reach the 40 years. Because I saw some of my friends, the way they look, the way they're not never happy. So I decided from age 40, I must start thinking of aging and put some things in place. And what were those things I put in place? Number one, I read books a lot. That has to do with the mental one. I read books a lot. I'm always busy trying to do one thing or the other. And when you are busy, it affects the whole body. Then the next one I try to do is to eat right. I eat right, eat at the right time, and eat nutritious food, not just putting garbage into our body. And the last one I decided to be doing is exercising myself. I remember some few months ago, I had some issues, so I visited my doctor. My doctor said, you have to cut down on your weight. So immediately I went to the gym, registered, and all those pains are no longer there. Then the last one is the fear of abandonment. I've seen a lot of parents that has even 12 children, like she said. So having 12 children, having so many children is not a guarantee that at old age you'll be taken care of. No. I've come to realize that when you prepare for your old age yourself, it's all about you preparing for yourself, because the children, especially this generation, they are not there, they don't care. So prepare your own aging, you process how you want to go about it. When the money is there, you can easily call for medical checkups, eat whatever you want to eat, have people around you that will take care of you. Okay. For instance, like my sister now, my only sister, she has a lot of children, and they don't even give her a call. And when I accuse her, they say, why is she reporting? Why is she reporting us to her? 3 weeks they've not called her. 3 weeks, just a call, not visiting.
That's reality.
Call, a call, yes.
That's reality.
So we need to, on our own, make up our minds on what we want, how we want our aging to look like, and how we want to end it.
Okay, for me, luckily for me, I started working out. But I used to be, eating the wrong things, because from my own lineage, they're a bit on the plus size. And that's why they say hereditary, you have to check up your lineage. But when it comes to health, I think I'm one lucky person that doesn't have all those funny diabetes and all that. But there's something I realized.
There's nothing funny about that.
No, because you see,
I know it's just an expression.
It's just okay.
I'm just
And the thing
making
was
fun.
that I realized that most of my friends, either they had low blood pressure, either they had high blood pressure, and all that. And sometimes I used to just sit down and I say, God, even with my size. But you know what? I gave myself a double check when I was 50. And I said, stop thinking that you're lucky. Because there are some times in life you just realize that if you're not careful about what you put into your system, like they say, it's a lifestyle. I don't drink, I don't smoke, I don't, when you do things in excess, it always backfires. So I always make sure that everything is being moderated in how I live my life. And what I try to do that has helped me, I'm big on friends. Friendship for me is very key. And what I try to do, I try to stay with people my age, and my age and much older. I have so many friends who are much older than me. They look younger than me, and I use them as an example how they live their lives, and they're always happy. And one thing I've studied is positive energy. Bad energy, people just stay away.
Stay away from them.
You see, because if you don't do that, it's going to work against you, because they always try to bring you down.
And sorry if I may come in. I remember when I started this my gym thing, I posted to encourage others. Some friends called me, like, what are you still looking for? What exactly do you want, Julie? And I told them, you don't understand. I'm preparing for something, for the next step. So such friends, you don't need them.
I agree with you, because most of these people, the only way they can get themselves up is to bring you down. So that's the thing. So for me, it is key who you hang. See, old age, who you hang around with. It's a big deal.
It's important. You talk about this, and I like. Perhaps maybe a lot of things force me into certain lifestyle. Basically, like you said, health challenge. I was scared of pulling my teeth, so I stopped eating a lot of sugar,
Sugar.
cake, and
Oh, sorry,
all
sorry.
of
I
that.
have to, for the teeth thing now, let me tell you. I didn't know, most people are doing a root canal and crowning now.
Mm.
Why did I realize that? Because my dentist told me nobody should extract their tooth anymore. Because when you grow up, your jaws will all
Falling.
they were just falling.
Mhm.
And I
Wow.
used to say, no wonder my grandmom used to talk, that thing. And I used to think that, gosh, I'll be so ugly. So now with my teeth, I don't joke
Yes,
with
it's
it.
important. If you look at the pictures of me, baby picture, there was one that had the very first one. There was a 1991.
Okay.
That was actually the year I got married. I recall I took that picture when I went to see a friend to give her my wedding invitation. If you look at that picture, I had a very full cheek, very full cheek. But after a while, with dental issues, the whole thing collapsed. So I quite
You
believe.
understand?
Yes,
Well,
I know where it comes. So, but because of health challenges, I started doing a whole lot of things to ensure that I don't get back to hospital. I don't like drugs, I don't like injections, and I hate hospitals. So as early as 15, I started jogging. But getting older, I found out that the doctors will tell you, the experts will tell you, that you should actually start exercising when you're still a teenager. That's when you build your bone density. Not when you're 40. You could still help when you're 40, but when you start early. So I'm talking to parents who are watching us, your children who are 10, 15, they're old enough to go to the gym. And even if there's no time, it's okay. Do a family dance exercise. Do a family, a competition, skipping rope. The mother, the father, let's see who will count 100 without breaking it. Those things are exercise and they also form bonding.
Yeah,
And
family.
for the people who are scared of being alone, like I am, what do I do again? I started early to make my children my friend. My mother did it, my father did it. We're all friends with my parents. In fact, up until they died, we talked like 1 hour before they died. So that's the kind of
And
relationship.
that's one of the biggest problem old people have. They don't have relationship with their children.
Yes.
And so when their children are away from home, they finally left.
It's already,
No, but
they're already
but
used to
but
it.
you see, the thing here is, there is, did the parent, when the kids were at home, were they close together? Were they friends?
We're chasing money.
I give myself,
Chasing
I
money.
give myself as an example. My dad was in the military. He was never home.
Mm-hmm.
So Friday, Saturday, Sunday, he took us to the club. And what did he do? He taught us how to swim. So because that was the only time we could interact. When you're in the car, he asks you questions. So you see, the parents themselves have to do something right.
Have to be intentional.
Parenting, don't wait for the teachers to help you parent your kids. So it has to be from home.
And that parenting is worse now because most parents are busy,
Too busy
hustling
looking
for
for
money.
money.
They don't have time for their children. And a
So
lot
we
of
must
things,
we must create that time for our children. I don't know what are the plans you're making for preparation.
You see, apart from health, loneliness and financial issues, which have already been raised, are very critical aspects. And these are, to a certain degree, outside your immediate control, particularly with regard to finances.
Sometimes
maybe,
too is in your control.
well, I'm going somewhere. Let's say you spent 35 years, or is it 30, working with the government, you're supposed to have a
40 years
pension,
now.
right? You're supposed to have a pension. We all know what's happening with pension. Yeah? So that's out the door. And if you are the kind of person that stayed devoted to your earning thing, that means you didn't have a side hustle. And probably you don't have skills that can be monetized after you leave work. And you've already passed the halfway mark. You're probably in your 60s, approaching your 70s, and all of that. There's a very real potential for even people who have been careful to fall into poverty. It's not necessarily about being careless so much as not having the right systems in place. In our country, Nigeria is a country that is designed to confound and frustrate people. Sometimes your best laid plans will not work especially with regard to finances. Many people who are poor today are not poor because they are irresponsible, they were not thinking about their future, they were hoping that their children will wake up and come and look after them. No. I'm not accusing you of that.
I just want to say something. You know, we were wrongly orientated.
Let me land so that I don't forget what I'm trying to let me end what I'm trying to say. Now, there's this general belief that many parents want to wait for their children to come and look for them, look after them. Yes, many of us grew up being told that, and I don't see anything wrong with it. If my parents were alive today, there's nothing I wouldn't do for them, regardless of whether we're friends or not. I feel that it is, if you are a Christian, it is your duty, it is written in the Bible, honor your father and your mother so that your days may be long. And even if there's no added benefits to it, if those two people hadn't gotten together and produced me, I wouldn't even be here to be resentful of anything. So regardless of whether they were 30 mil, whether they were not my friend, as long as they didn't go out of their way to be cruel and abandon me or anything, I will do my due diligence. But what I'm saying is that financially, your best laid plans can go the wrong way in this our bloody Nigeria. Then with regard to loneliness, I'm glad we've already established the fact that you share genes with somebody is no guarantee of anything. That your child that you are petting, you are treating really well, you do everything for. I've discovered that when you raise an entitled child, this is the one that you were doing everything for. Anything they say I want, you run and go and buy it. You will starve yourself. You will do it. Those are the ones that abandon you the fastest when they realize you cannot continue. So, don't bother. You fit really speaking way, you are just like, don't do this, don't do it. You are strict. And as the child grows up, the child begins to realize my parents were strict with me for a reason. If they hadn't been strict with me, I wouldn't have turned out this way, this way. And there's another one that you cater to all of their needs, and the minute you can't meet anymore, I want a new car. I'm sorry, I can't. Daddy doesn't love me anymore. No problem.
When you love me, I knew.
The kind of person you are factors into these things at the end of the day.
The basic thing I just might take out from there is we should actually start early. You're going to interject.
That's what I was trying to say. The curriculum that they use to train everybody in Nigeria is a wrong curriculum. The curriculum that says go to a university, get your first degree, get a job with the ministry, retire, and start collecting your pension. Look at it this way: how many pensioners retired successfully?
Exactly.
So it's a wrong concept. And now, thank God for the government, the new curriculum has this entrepreneurship program that trains the children to be independent before they even finish their college. And with that, you don't have to wait for retirement. My husband just retired about 3 years ago. He retired as a deputy director. His benefit was not up to 7 million. Then I asked myself, 7 million naira, you can make it within 1 month if
you're a successful entrepreneur.
Yes,
but Nigeria is also designed in such a way that look at the speed with which small businesses collapse.
Okay, so
if you want to look at that, you will not do anything.
I don't want to go into.
No, I'm not saying you don't try.
I don't want to go into that.
I'm not saying that you don't try at all. I'm just saying that the failure rate is so high. So when you see people come out looking like failures, it's not for want of trying in many cases.
No. Now, when the women come in for your work program, this is one of them, right?
Yeah.
The work program.
Yeah.
So when we come in for this, how do you try to ensure that we reduce our fear for
a fear of anything?
The fear of anything, but particularly the fear of aging. What do you say to them?
It's basically cognitive restructure. Okay. It's give it everything that happens to us, every event or action that you give it a meaning. So it's by changing the meaning you give to an event and making it empowering for yourself. Mm-hmm. It's by first of all you have to find out what are your limiting beliefs. Many of us we all have limiting beliefs. Even us who even teach ways to end the limiting beliefs, we have them as well. But recognizing them when they show up and hitting them back, go away. It's basically what we do. And it all starts from reframing.
I think it's important we all learn how to communicate. It's important. Some people are writing in here. I wish I can read all of what you are writing. I can't, incidentally, but I know that the very first person that wrote was, I'm going to appreciate you. Say, Okay, please connect me to Joy Connection. And it says, great watching you guys this morning. You didn't write your name, but you're a journalist and a writer and a psychotherapist. All right? Thank you very much for writing in. The basic thing I think we have all said here is to start early. The way you lay your bed is the way you lie on it. If you're married, please make your husband your friend. Make your wife your friend. Because the children, best friend, yes. I know Mr. Mom is your best friend. Because the children will all grow and leave. So that man you were asking maid to serve, that woman you were asking your gate man to attend to, how are you going to communicate? So you die alone, you become lonely, and whatever you start doing, do it on time. If you're already late, no problem. There's never time, there's too late for anyone. But if you're still 10 years, if you're still 15, if you're still 20, this is the time to start eating vegetables, fruits, drinking a lot of water, reduce your sugar content. Sugar is not your friend. Sugar will make you look old. True, trust me on that.
Yeah.
It's going to shrink up your skin, and then it also goes into your cartilage and weaken you up. I'm not a doctor, so let me not go into that. Passing words from Joy, just 1 minute.
Passing words, just be happy and put yourself in positivity.
All right. Passing word for, oh yeah, there's a party, right?
Yeah.
On Friday, right?
On
Thursday.
Okay, on Thursday there's a
and
party.
Saturday. Yeah.
Thursday and Saturday.
That's Thursday on is a swimming splash.
Oh, okay. Swimming, you're going for swimming splash
Yeah.
at 60.
Yes.
So we can wear
That's
Wear bikini.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
I'm sitting up for it.
Well, I can't swim to save my life.
Oh.
You don't
Let's
need to
not
swim.
go
You
there.
don't need to swim.
Just put your leg and
You can
snap
do
picture.
aerobics then.
Yeah.
You don't get the fun.
Yeah.
Go to
You
the
can
beach,
do
put
aerobics.
your leg inside
Yeah.
water and take pictures.
Yeah.
Well, the idea behind it is that I discovered that most women don't socialize.
Yes. Okay.
They don't socialize. So
Okay.
socializing is another
way.
way.
All right, my
Aging
director is on my
well.
neck, so we definitely have to socialize. Happy birthday ahead of time, and we'll all be there to celebrate you. Until then, of course, until next week again when you come your way, I remain Elizabeth. Ciao, ciao.
Bye.
Bye.